All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So, with a win on Saturday against the Indianapolis Colts, the Houston Texans would be the first team since 2012 to make the playoffs with both a rookie QB and a rookie head coach. The Houston Texans last year won 3 freaking football games. They go out there, they hire DeMeco Ryans, they pick up CJ Stroud and Will Anderson right away in the NFL draft. They have a phenomenal low-key offseason. I'm looking at guys like Schultz, Singletary, Noah Brown. Like, they just really do a great job at evaluating talent, and they're 9-7. They actually have a possibility with the Jaguars' loss and a victory over Indianapolis to be the division leader and have a home freaking playoff game. Folks, what we're seeing right now is unprecedented. All right, CJ Stroud has 6 games with 300 passing yards. That's tied for second by any rookie all time. He has a 4.2 TD to interception ratio, and that leads the league. He has almost 4,000 passing yards. He needs less than 200 passing yards on Saturday against the Colts to become the 5th rookie with 4,000 passing yards in his rookie season. He's literally averaging 276 yards passing per game. 274.6 passing yards per game as a freaking rookie. With all the injuries, especially at the beginning of the season, to your offensive line. Dameon Pierce was the starting running back to start off the season. Tank Dell got injured. CJ Stroud missed some games because of a concussion. He comes out last week and against the Tennessee Titans like he didn't miss any time. I mean, it's unbelievable. So obviously today we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans. At the end of this video, we're going to talk about some things that are going to be an absolute difference maker in their upcoming game, Week 18 game, to make the playoffs. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with a couple of Texans videos every single week. Texans fans, I love you guys as always. If we try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So we were talking about injuries, right? One big thing I've noticed with this team is guys are just stepping up. Guys continuously step up in the wake of injuries, off games. Every team has off games. Every player has off games. Guys are picking up the slack for each other when need be. In fact, the Houston Texans have only had 2 starters appear for them in every game this season. Steven Nelson and Devin Singletary, who's unbelievably underrated. We'll talk about him very quickly. They also lead the league in players on IR with 25. And yet, some way, somehow, with a win on Saturday, they make the playoffs. And with a lost Jacksonville Jaguars loss, they win the freaking division. I mean, what DeMeco Ryans has implemented with this team is unbelievable. CJ Stroud, phenomenal talent, but defensively, they've done a phenomenal job. Like, guys, the Houston Texans defense was dead last year. They allowed 170 rushing yards per game. Per game, it sounds like a Madden statistic. This year, the Texans are ranked 6th against the run, allowing only 90 yards per game. And in fact, their defense is statistically above average. They're giving up less than 21 points per game. They have the 14th rated offense in the league, and they have the 13th rated defense in the league. And one thing I really noticed about DeMeco Ryans is, like, when this dude was in San Francisco, we know that this is a man, like, he's a great leader of men. Nobody was worried that DeMeco Ryans was going to be the head coach for the Houston Texans. Everybody was, in fact, licking their chops, looking forward to it, can't wait. But I think, like, even just his credibility, just the way he handles himself, the way he carries himself, there was, like, something really small I noticed in that game against the Titans. So Nico Collins caught a ball, got tackled at the sideline, whatever. DeMeco Ryans lifted this dude up with his arm, like a teammate would. And what was crazy is I thought to myself, like, how many coaches in the league could actually do that? I know Nico Collins is a wide receiver, so it's not like you're picking up, 300 plus pounds, Will Anderson Jr., which DeMeco Ryans probably could do as well. But it made me think, like, dude, this dude is like the guy. And we've known he's the guy all season. Immediately when the Houston Texans played football this year, we noticed, wow, that's a really quick turnaround. Can they keep this going all year? They've tripled their win total from last year. They won 3 games. They have 9 wins already. They're above 500. They are 100% finishing the season above 500 because they're 9-7. But that super small thing. And like I said, I know Nico Collins is the biggest dude in the league, but how many coaches could actually pick up one of their players as if he was a teammate? And I think that just, like, if you're a player, you respect the hell out of DeMeco Ryans. And one big thing, a lot of people are comparing, this week against the Colts to their week 2 matchup. It's completely different. Like, just for example, Anthony Richardson was the starting quarterback to start that game in week 2 against the Colts. CJ Stroud is completely different. CJ Stroud threw for almost 400 yards in his second ever NFL game against the Colts in week 2. So he lit them up. They ended up losing. It was like 28-10 at halftime. It's going to be completely different. I have full faith that the Houston Texans are going to win this football game on Saturday, not to jinx it, but the Colts have flown really under the radar all season. They play a lot of zone defense. So I'm looking at a player, and his name is Devin Singletary. And this is a guy who, in the offseason, when we first started making Texans videos on this channel, I noticed they picked this dude up, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Singletary got so overshadowed from Josh Allen. Everybody was just saying how bad the Buffalo Bills running unit was, when in reality, Devin Singletary was really solid in his rookie season. 770 rushing yards last year with Buffalo. He had 800. He's had back-to-back seasons with over 800 rushing yards, and he tripled that this year. So now has 3 straight seasons with over 800 rushing yards. And I remember sitting here behind this mic, and I'm a huge Dameon Pierce supporter. Like, I really hope he works out in the National Football League because he's a Florida Gator, and I got the most love for him. But there was a point in the season where Dameon Pierce got injured, and Singletary came in and just absolutely lit things up. So I want to go back to week 2 and just as another example of these are 2 completely different football teams. Like I said, the Colts starting quarterback was Anthony Richardson before he ended up getting injured. Dameon Pierce was the starting running back in week 2, and he ran like 15 times for 30-something yards. Singletary, 80 rushing yards last week, 121 against the Tennessee Titans a couple of weeks ago. I mean, he had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games for the first time in a very long time for any Houston Texans running back in like the last 5+ years. So that's the only reason I'm bringing that up, is because the Colts play a zone defense where they're going to let you have some yards, and the best way to attack a zone defense is through the running game. And I have a feeling that Singletary, coming off a week where he ran 16 times for 80 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry, the dude's been he was a backup running back to start the season, and he's going to be very close to 1,000 rushing yards on the year. Very impressive to me. They're without Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, CJ Stroud. Those are guys who are going to need to light it up. Well, watch out for Devin Singletary, because I think he is going to be the X factor for this upcoming matchup. Now, that's it for tonight. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you guys want more Texans videos, let me know down below. But guys, give me a score prediction for this Saturday night matchup, Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans. Peace.